Hey, Browns fans, welcome into another edition of Browns Live. Coming up on today's show, Joe Thomas will join me, as well as Austin Hooper in the player spotlight. But we begin, as we always do, with this week's game review presented by Pilot Flying J. And joining me for that now is the head coach of your Cleveland Browns, Kevin Stefanski. And Coach, look, we know it didn't go the way you or this football team wanted it to in Foxborough. So the question I have is, what can you take away from the tape and the performance on Sunday?
Well, I think you learn from every game, win, lose, or draw. And we got beat, and we got beat good. We got outplayed, we got outcoached, and it doesn't feel good. So on that Monday, it's not a fun meeting to watch it as a group, but we got to own it. I think that's so important to own it and understand that it's not up to par for us. It's not up to our expectations. And then once you own it, now we got to go learn from it and find areas to fix. So while we were very disappointed in how it went down, what we have to do as a team is move forward with some ways that we feel like we can get better.
Coach, in your time here with the Browns, there have been games like this, unfortunately, in the past. 2 in your first season, and you can even go earlier this year with Arizona. Your team has come back and won the following game every single time. So is there some belief, has that been something that's been talked about, that look, we've been down this road, we've had ugly games, we've learned, we've flushed, and we've always come back strong at home in a couple of those cases, as a matter of fact? Is that something that you guys have talked about? Is that kind of the mindset?
I haven't really gone back to those, but thanks for reminding me, Nathan. But I do think it's important that you turn the page. And I really mean that, even after a win. Everybody can pat you on the back after a win. And if you let that drag into your next work week and your week of preparation, I don't think that's good ultimately. So for us, these games, as we all know, they're one game seasons, and you need to give everything you have into that game. So regardless of the result the week previous, regardless of who you got coming up the next week, it really, you dive into that given week. And with us right now, we got to dive into this Lions team. I think they played a good game against Pittsburgh this last game, coming off their bye, made some significant schematic changes. So our work week is vitally important to how we perform on Sunday.
And when you went back and you watched it, was it a lot of little things that added up to do big things? Was it a lot of big things? And how fixable do you and the guys feel that what you saw is?
Yeah, ultimately, when you get beat like that, nothing went right. I mean, that's just the truth. The schemes weren't good enough. The coaches weren't good enough. The players weren't good enough. All of the above wasn't good enough. But we identified some areas that we have to improve. I think 3rd and 4th down, obviously on both sides of the ball, we have to get better. We have to stay on the field as an offense by converting those 3rd downs. We have to get off the field as a defense. So we really spent a good portion of our week, and we took a deep dive into those areas because we have to improve, and we got to improve starting this week.
I know it came at the beginning of the game, and obviously things changed after that, but how big was it to get that 4th down conversion? And just for something that you guys had worked on, especially down in the red area, and it's been mixed this year, but to get that one there, a great route from Hoop on that little out and up at the stick at the goal line, then get to the back, great ball from Baker, especially because you really kind of scored twice on that one. I know Chief said earlier today that he's frustrated with himself for being lazy and not getting that ball in secure after the catch. How important was that? Is that something, though, that you can build on, knowing, I know how you like to go on 4th down, this team likes to go, but to have that success?
Yeah, I mean, when you go for it on 4th down, anywhere on the field, it's a very, very big play, because if you don't get it, it's a turnover. When you get a 4th down as a conversion for a touchdown, obviously those are huge plays. It's something that is a play, and we think about players down there, and number 81 is a very dependable player. He ran a great route. I thought Baker made a great throw on that play.
Coach, has the week of practice, as you said, we have to make that transition. Can you walk us through what that is? So Monday it's film, break it down, talk about it. Tuesday, get your minds right. And then Wednesday, back to work. And how was Wednesday's session?
Yeah, I thought Wednesday was really good. We come in Wednesday and meet first with special teams, and then meet as a team. And we do our scouting report. We talk about the team that we're playing, talking about Detroit and their scheme and their players. And really, we dive into that base install. When I say base, I mean 1st and 2nd down install. Our practice Wednesday, I told the team after practice, it was spirited. The guys were flying around. They were lively, had the pads on. They were physical. And that's how you have to be. And I really told the guys we have to double down on our preparation. We have to have our best week of preparation this week. It's what's required. So I really thought how we are at walkthroughs, how we are on the practice field, how we are in the meeting room. Those are the determining factors of how you perform on Sunday.
Coach, and we will dive into that matchup with the Lions later on in the show. But coming up next on Browns Live, Joe Thomas, the Hop, joins us. We're going to talk with Austin Hooper and head in the film room. It's all coming up on Browns Live.
The thing about 7-Up is it always looks good, sounds good, and tastes good. There's nothing like the crisp, clean, refreshing taste of 7-Up.
Did you know tires from Conrad's include everything you need to deliver maximum life and performance? Lifetime rotations and balancing, flat repairs, wheel alignment inspection, plus 3 years of road hazard protection. Count on Conrad's for the best total value.
Right now, get up to $120 off instantly on a set of 4 eligible Bridgestone tires when you use your Bridgestone CFNA credit card.
Subject to credit approval.
Bridgestone, official tire of the Cleveland Browns, proudly sold at your hometown.
Hey girl, you look bored as heck. I think it's time for a little vibe check, please. Here, have a Snapple. Let's have some fun. Who, me? Sure, everyone. Do yourself a flavor with Snapple. Now this new bottle's a vibe.
They said it couldn't be done, but somehow CCM was able to close this home in just 21 days. Carl, how'd you pull this off?
Oh, hard work, dedication, grinding.
Were you ever worried?
Well, you know, Chloe, they pinned us in deep in the second bedroom, inspection issues, but we regrouped. Knew there was still a lot in play.
Well, I'm sure the Franklins were pleasantly surprised.
We got a good organization here. A lot to look forward to.
Good luck with the next close. And there you have it. Cross Country Mortgage is dedicated to getting it done.
Thank you for coming today. I'd like to read a brief statement. As the special meals coordinator for the Cleveland Browns, I'm proud to have drafted Mid's True Sicilian Pasta Sauce with our first pick. Made in Ohio for over 60 years, he's a hometown hero. From hearty meat sauce to classic marinara, there's no doubt Mids is ready for Sunday dinner. We know the taste is there, though his skills on the field will need improvement. But we're working on it. Day in and day out. He practices about 3 days a week.
Touchdown, Nick Chubb! He's done it again!
Cleveland Browns fans, joining our season ticket member waitlist has its benefits. From exclusive team content to first access to single game tickets, membership starts at just $100 per seat. Joining the waitlist is the first step to becoming a season ticket member and getting these special benefits.
The Browns are winners again!
Visit clevelandbrowns.com/tickets for more information about the waitlist and your chance to be a part of the Browns' future.
Welcome back into Browns Live. Nathan Zegura, very happy now to be joined by the Hop, Joe Thomas. But Hop, there's not a lot of joy in Berea this week. The Browns, a tough loss on the road against New England. How do you flush that and just move on to the next week?
The only way you can flush something like that when you get beat the way you did in New England is just to trust your process. And that's what you got to fall back into, is that routine that you're used to. It's the Monday, it's coming in. It's having that come to Jesus, look in the mirror moment where you say, hey, we weren't good enough. These were all the phases that we were bad in. This is the areas that we need to improve if we want to win. And then you get back in that facility on Wednesday and you start working towards getting better and winning on Sunday.
Well, one area where the Browns did get better, although it was short-lived, fourth down. They went for it on the fourth down of their opening possession, and it was Baker Mayfield to Austin Hooper for a clutch touchdown. And we caught up with Austin Hooper in this week's Player Spotlight presented by McDonald's.
I'm joined here with Browns tight end Austin Hooper. Austin, it was a tough team loss on Sunday, but looking ahead to this week, how can the team bounce back?
I think it just comes back to the fundamentals at the end of the day, just trusting who we are, trusting what we're capable of, and really just hammering out the details.
So let's talk about your touchdown on Sunday. 4th and goal on the opening drive, and you came through with a clutch 2-yard touchdown catch. What goes through your mind when making a catch like that?
First I just understood the look. I was motioning out. We're going on 2, so the whole time I was trying to time up my feet and my motion to try to get a read on the defender's leverage. So I pushed up on him, was kind of playing inside out leverage, so stepped on his toes, broke out, felt him kind of trail and get underneath a little bit. He did a pretty decent job of covering it overall. Pushed back up vertical, fight, get his hands off, and then Baker's threw a perfect ball. That's a big time NFL throw. And I mean, he just put it where just catch it. So he made it really easy for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So how does a team need to build off that momentum earlier in the next game?
Yeah, good question. I mean, I think we came out rolling. It was evident by us putting up points on the first series. I think it's much easier said than done, but just keeping that thing going, just understanding that, you know, mistakes happen. It's National Football League. Give credit when credit's due to the other team. But I mean, when adversity strikes, I mean, we just got to put our head back down, trust who we are, trust our identity as an offense, and just get back after it. Because I mean, we've proven we can push the ball down the field, and when we do what we're supposed to do, we're going to be able to move the ball better.
So you've personally had 6 total touchdowns in your 2 seasons so far here in Cleveland. What's that connection like between you and Baker Mayfield?
That's good. I mean, he's much more than a teammate to me anyway. I mean, we hang out on and off the field. I mean, just some good relationship in terms of just a guy who's, you know, not even football related things. If I got something going on in my life, that's something I can go to, and then just the amount of trust I have with him and vice versa. Just, I mean, at the end of the day, like one physical activity, it's just gonna show you like, all right, like who your boys are.
Other than being connected with your teammates, what's your personal favorite part about being a tight end?
I mean, it's difficult. I love how it's like, all right, block someone 30 pounds heavier than you or outrun someone 40 pounds lighter than you. So I mean, you're always in a position where, you know, it's not ideal, but you just got to get it done. And that's what I love about it. The best players on the roster are typically those guys who play on the edge. So you're going against the best week in and week out. And if you're a competitive person like I am, like our room is, you thrive for that.
Yeah, so what would a win mean to the team this weekend?
I'm not going to put crazy emphasis. I mean, it's the most important game of the year because it's the next game of the year. I mean, it's that championship mentality in the sense like every week's a championship game. How do you prepare? How do you study your opponent? How do you study yourself? My mindset hasn't changed in the sense that every week I'm going out there preparing like it's the most important game of the year because it is, because it's the next one.
Yeah, well, thanks so much, Austin, and good luck on Sunday.
Thank you.
Joe, Austin Hooper's always been reliable for this football team. We weren't explosive on offense, but when we needed a play, it was 4th down, we went to Hoop.
Yeah, he's got such great hands. He does such a great job getting open and making himself available to his quarterback. He's an unbelievable asset in those crunch moments, those winning situations that you talk about, 4th down, 3rd down situations, goal line, red zone. Those are the areas when a guy like Hoop can really pay off for the Browns.
And we'll take a look at that touchdown where he paid off for the Browns when we come back on Browns Live. We're going into the film room to break down some of the highlights from that tough game in New England.
Let's take a quiz. What should you look for when choosing a lawyer? Competent counsel, fair compensation, personal attention, experience? Yeah, it's a pretty long list. The fact is, choosing a lawyer is a critically important decision and well worth researching. That's why Elk & Elk is the right choice. Our team has recovered over $1 billion for our clients and has experience trying cases just like yours. Elk & Elk. Every client, every day.
As a family-owned and operated business now in its 3rd generation, we believe in the handshake. We believe in having a relationship with our customers that gives them the peace of mind that they can call us at any hour and we can help them with any problem that they have or any special circumstance. As I've grown in this industry, I've tried to instill the different things that my grandparents did, the different things that my dad has done to make people feel that they truly are at the best place in private EMS.
The thing about 7-Up is, it always looks good, sounds good, and tastes good. There's nothing like the crisp, clean, refreshing taste of 7-Up.
Hey girl, you look bored as heck. I think it's time for a little vibe check, please. Here, have a Snapple. Let's have some fun. Who, me? Sure, everyone. Do yourself a flavor with Snapple. Now this new bottle's a vibe.
Welcome back into Browns Live. Nathan Zegura and the Hawk, Joe Thomas with you. And Joe, we know it was tough, but there were some good moments in this game against the New England Patriots. Let's get into the film room for this week's play breakdown presented by Microsoft and look at them. We'll start with Austin Hooper's touchdown from Baker Mayfield on a key 4th down on the opening possession. Unfortunately for the Browns, though, it would be the only score of the day.
Yeah, it was tough. You go down the field and you score on your opening drive, bing, 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 like that. You're thinking it's going to be a great day as a fan and as a player. And then it doesn't always turn out that way. But when you go back and you watch the film, these are the moments when you have to look at them and pull them out and say, guys, everything wasn't bad. We don't have to throw everything away. We can build on it. We can learn. And look, this is what you get when you do the little things right and you point to a play like this with Hoop.
All right, Austin Hooper now comes in motion at the bottom of your screen, and it looks like initially you would think it was zone, right? Nobody follows him across, but they're still playing man on this side of the field, and Hoop is going to run a little out and up, and you think about the goal line right here. This is where the defenders, they think the ball's going to come out to a big target like that, where he's going to body them up, and he'll throw it right in there, right at the front of the line, and Hoop with a great route sells that little quick out route and then turns it upfield, and Baker Mayfield puts it on him for the touchdown.
Yeah, these are all the layers that you want to have in your goal line plays, right? Because these plays a lot of times will double as your 2-point plays, right? Your 2-point conversions are going to happen from the same spot. So you want to have a lot of options. You want to give the defenses plenty of looks. And like you mentioned, when you've got a big body on the goal line, what's one of the best plays? Just have them go post up and go basketball on him where he gets big and you throw him the ball. That's an easy completion. But then the next layer is you give that look, and you got a player like Austin who sells his shoulders to the sideline, sells it like he's going to give his hands to the quarterback. He even turns his head a little bit right there. That's what you need. It's those details that sell it to the defense that make them believe that you're running that little quick out route. That's going to make him want to try to undercut it. And it gives you all the space that you need for a good athlete like Austin Hooper to be able to take it to the back end line. And when you're a big receiver on the back end line, quarterback loves that because he can throw it high and where only you can catch it. The defense has no chance. A very safe throw and a great job bringing it down by Austin Hooper.
That's right. A great ball from Baker Mayfield, and Hoop kind of had a double catch there, but made sure he got it, got his feet in. And then there was the celebration for the Browns. Now, defensively, this is a game to forget for Cleveland. You gave up 45 points to the New England Patriots. You gave up multiple long drives, including a 99.5-yarder. But Myles Garrett continues his pursuit of the Defensive Player of the Year, getting another sack in this one, bringing it up to 13. And Joe, what I loved about this is that this is a perfect example of coverage helping a pass rusher, because this is supposed to be a quick 3-step drop. The ball is supposed to be out. They try to cut Myles there, but because the coverage is good where Mac Jones wants to go with the ball, he can't throw it when he wants to in rhythm, ends up holding it for a second, and Myles just hurdles that cut block and gets the sack.
Yeah, pretty amazing that Myles was able to get a sack in this game because the Patriots had a pretty good game plan coming in. They were not going to allow him to be single blocked just about at all the entire game. So this is just great effort by Myles. It's supposed to be a 3-step drop. The ball is supposed to come out. That's the only reason you cut as an offensive tackle. But when you have tight coverage, you got all those guys locked up. And Mac Jones has nowhere to go with the football right now. And when you're a rookie, you're a little inexperienced and you don't understand that ball has to come out. Even if somebody's not open, you got to get rid of it. You can't hold on to it, try to extend the play because your linemen are on the ground. And that is legitimately a 2-second block and it's over. Myles Garrett being the athlete that he is, does not even allow that to be a speed bump. And he's going all the way to get the sack of Mac Jones.
That's right. Our Mac got the best of their Mac. Mac Wilson with the great coverage. That's what Mac Jones saw. That's why he holds it. And Miles does the rest. All right, Hoff. We've seen a couple good things here. There was a lot of things, though, that need to be better, and they need to be better in a hurry. You're getting the winless Lions, but this is a team that pushed the Ravens to the brink. This is a team that took the Steelers to overtime. That game ended in a tie. This is a must-have for the Browns. How do you get it done on Sunday?
Well, you mentioned it. This is a team that doesn't have any wins, but that doesn't mean they're getting blown out every single week. They're playing competitive football, and they got a lot of good players. So for the Browns, it's all about getting back to the fundamentals. Anytime you get blown out the way they did, you can't worry about what happened on the scoreboard. You just got to worry about the things you can control. And fundamentals and technique, that's the basis of any success at any level of football. So if the Browns want to win against the Lions, it's taking care of the things that are in your own house. It's that technique. It's those fundamentals. It's thinking about the first drive, finding a way to not kill yourself, because that's the way the Browns are going to get the victory on Sunday.
Speak it into existence, Hoff. Always a pleasure. We'll be back next week, hopefully, with a victory edition of Browns Live. But coming up next, the head coach of your Cleveland Browns joins me to talk about the Browns and the Lions this Sunday at First Energy Stadium.
Browns fans, you can now train like the pros at Browns Fit. Our 20,000 square foot state-of-the-art fitness facility is open. Browns Fit creates a safe and healthy environment for members and guests and showcases the latest in innovative fitness technology with personal training and much more. Located in the flats of downtown Cleveland on the second floor of the Aloft Hotel. Specials for Browns Fits are available for a limited time, so act now. Visit us at brownsfit.com today to become a member and train like the pros.
I'm Graham.
And I'm Fisk.
And we're the founders of
Graham and Fisk Wine in a Can.
100% California award-winning wine in a proven package. And announcing our Rookie of the Year, 8.4 ounces of award-winning California wine.
We've got red, we've got white, we've got rosé with bubbles, and we've got white with bubbles.
All with Wine Enthusiast Magazine Best Buy Awards. You can buy and get delivered right to your door by visiting grahamandfisk.com or from participating local retailers.
Cleveland Browns fans, joining our season ticket member waitlist has its benefits. From exclusive team content to first access to single game tickets, membership starts at just $100 per seat. Joining the waitlist is the first step to becoming a season ticket member and getting these special benefits.
The Browns are winners again!
Visit clevelandbrowns.com/tickets for more information about the waitlist and your chance to be a part of the Browns' future.
A parent or spouse, a neighbor or friend, we care for the lives entrusted to us with technology, medicine, expertise, and passion, delivered with understanding and support. Not just addressing heart and vascular problems, truly caring for you as a person. We are University Hospital's Harrington Heart and Vascular Institute, and we are here for you.
Welcome back into Browns Live. Nathan Zegura joined once again by the head coach of your Cleveland Browns, Kevin Stefanski, for this week's game preview presented by Ticketmaster. And it is a return home for the Browns to First Energy Stadium, where they will take on the visiting Detroit Lions, 0-8-1. And before we get into that Lions team, which is much better than its record would indicate, Coach, I just want to talk about your team, the state of it. Where are we at with the health players and how it's trending for Sunday?
Yeah, I think the guys are working really hard in that rehab room and in the training room to try and get back. There's guys I think that will get back in the next couple of weeks. There's guys that are fighting to make it back this week. So it's really the nature of the NFL where you really don't have a ton of clarity throughout the week potentially. once you get into Friday, you might have a better sense of who might go, but that's kind of how we've been. I really think since week one, kind of there's going to be little things, and we'll see how they trend. We'll work some guys out before the game potentially to see if they can go. But it's a challenge in putting that puzzle together and kind of knowing who you're going to have and who you might not have.
It is, and I'm sure it's the case for all teams around the NFL. You mentioned something in the opening segment about noticing that the Lions coming out of their bye week in a game in which they went into Pittsburgh, albeit without Ben Roethlisberger, took them to the limit, had a field goal attempt to win it in overtime that was mishit, and it ends in a tie. But you said schematically they changed coming out of their bye week. Let's start on the offensive side. Clearly, a renewed emphasis on running the football and being physical up front. What did you see from the Lions offensively coming out of that bye week?
Yeah, I think you hit it. It was a physical rush attack. They got big offensive linemen. Obviously, Coach Campbell, a former tight end, threw a bunch of tight ends out there, including throwing an extra offensive lineman who was playing tight end out there. And it was a downhill run attack. And now we need to find out if that's who they were for one game or if that's who they are going to be for this game. The conditions were it was rainy and windy and wet, so you don't know if that was just a reaction to that, but we anticipate that that's going to be pretty true to who they are in trying to pound the football via the run game.
And if they aren't running it, they're doing a lot of what I would call long handoffs, right? A lot of passes at the line of scrimmage, behind the line of scrimmage, yards after the catch, accounting for 61% of the Lions passing offense this year. That's the highest percentage of the lead by a wide margin, by the way. How important is tackling this one? Because when you do put on that Steelers tape, I'm sure Mike Tomlin, he said it after the game, we helped them out. They missed at least 10 tackles easy in that game that led to big plays. How important is tackling this week?
Yeah, absolutely. It's huge. And you're right. There are a bunch of plays out there where the Detroit player, they're not going to give up. They're going to fight for every extra yard. So tackling, while it's so important technique-wise for the individual tackler, just as important is getting 11 hats around the ball, being relentless in your pursuit to the ball carrier. It typically will ensure that you're a good tackling team.
All right, defensively, how have the Lions changed coming out of their bye week and what you saw against Pittsburgh?
Yeah, so front-wise, they were playing a couple different personnel groupings, a couple of new fronts. You know, Jamie Collins is no longer there on their team they had earlier in the season, so they're just adjusting a little bit to their personnel, which you'd anticipate they do. And then coverage-wise, they kind of play what they play. There's some man in there. There's some cover two. That's Aaron Glenn, who was in New Orleans, which is very similar, you know, with Dennis Allen playing some cover two, playing some 3D. So they pressure third down. They're going to come after you. They're going to roll up and challenge you on the perimeter. So they have a really sound defensive attack.
I know that at 5-5, this is not a time for us to take anything for granted. But, you know, sometimes guys see a record. They see 0-8-1, and then you can end up in a situation like Baltimore where they needed a 4th and 19 and the longest field goal in history. You go see the Steelers, who are probably feeling pretty good about themselves, and all of a sudden they end up tied. How do you just communicate the intensity and the necessity of this football game against a team that is doing everything it can clearly to find a way to win?
Yeah, it's the NFL. You know, the parity in this league is unbelievable. Anybody can beat anybody on any given Sunday. So it's just so important that we have a great work week. We just have to. And I think the leadership on this team understands what's at stake, and we'll make sure that we're ready to go.
Coach, thanks so much for the time. Best of luck on Sunday against the Lions. And that'll do it for us here on Browns Live. Don't forget to tune into Browns Countdown, 11 a.m. on News 5 this Sunday. Getting you ready. A big one. The Browns and the Lions. Thanks again to the best fans in the NFL for watching and joining us for another edition of Browns Live.